guys, if this is your first time on my channel, you are welcome. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Since you're already here, might as well just do it. If you're a returning watcher, what's up? What's poppin'? How's you doing? How you doing? Oh, this is probably like the fourth video I'm saying that, and you're probably gonna be annoyed by now, but just bear with me because just like a week ago I didn't know how to roll my R's, and then I just kept practicing and I finally was able to do it, and I have been saying oh non-stop, so you're just gonna have to bear with me, but I'll try not to say it anymore in this video. So today in this video I'm gonna talk about my 4 years at Stanford. I think this is gonna be more of a reflection video for myself, and of course I want, you know, for the general public, but I think it's more for me. I think it's important at like every new step of your life you're reflecting on the past couple of years or the journey you went through and seeing what worked, what didn't work, what did you learn, what are you like gonna repeat moving forward, what are you not gonna repeat. And I think this is what I want to do because literally in 5 weeks I will be graduating, or by the time you see this video probably like two weeks, and I just have been thinking a lot about my 4 years here, and like I've had time to really reflect on the people who helped me get to where I was today, the people who didn't help me get to where I was today, the friends I made, the friends that I like lost, just my academic growth as a person, the things I've been involved with. And I think it's just important for me to just take a step back and really look at everything, look at from my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year to my senior year. So I'm probably just gonna be kind of walking you through each year and like what I learned, and how I'm a different person from that year. So my freshman year I came to Stanford. I came, like everyone who watches my videos or follows me know, I came from a very small charter school. There was 25 graduating seniors, and I was a valedictorian. I was the top of my class. And in high school just came very easy to me. I didn't feel the need to study. I just got things made sense, so naturally I did well. And I think also my parents, but mostly my father, really emphasized the importance of doing well in school and always being the top of my class. So growing up, that was something very important to me, and like I was always doing the damn thing. And my freshman year at Stanford, that wasn't the case, and I went through a lot. Like my freshman year, a lot of it I won't discuss on video because I think it's very personal, very private. But I just was not doing well in school, or wasn't doing well in the classes that I thought mattered. Like Stanford requires you to take a language class, so I took Yoruba as my language because Stanford offers Yoruba, which is actually pretty cool. So I took a year of Yoruba, and I did well in that because it's like my language. But I couldn't quite do well in other like science classes. My first quarter at Stanford, I think my GPA was like a 2.4 or something like that. Or was it a 2.4? I had 2 C's and 1 A, and that A was in Yoruba, but the 2 C's were in like chemistry and my psychology class. And I was just like, me? A C? Oh wow, what is that? Like, but at the same time, I don't know, I was just kind of like, by the time I had got the final grade, I was so numb because like I already knew I wasn't doing well in chemistry. Like my first midterm at Stanford, my very first midterm at Stanford, I kid y'all not, it was like a 58 out of 200. 58 points out of 200 points. It was then I knew that this was not going to be a good class for me. And I just didn't do well my freshman year, and I left freshman year feeling very like unfulfilled, feeling very sad. I didn't make that many friends my freshman year. I had like 2 friends that I talked to the entire year, and then like I didn't like the living situation I was in. I didn't feel like I fit in with the Black community. I didn't feel like I fit in with like any of the like kind of cliques or friend groups that existed at the time. I rarely got invited to stuff, so like if a group of people in my dorm went out to Cheesecake Factory, I never got invited to that kind of stuff. So it was also a pretty lonely time for me as well. And imagine being lonely, not having a support system, not doing well in school, and then like I can't be telling my parents I'm not doing well in school. So for me, it was just a very hard time. And towards the end of the school year, I think one of the few things that made me happy my freshman year was me and a group of other like African girls started like an African dance group on campus called Afrobeats, and that was one of like my biggest loves in life is just dancing. I love dancing. It makes me happy. So that was one of the few things that I feel like I was able to like kind of just be myself and like enjoy. And one of my members in Afrobeats worked at the Center for African Studies on campus, and the department was having like a cooking event, and because she knows I love to cook, and I also didn't eat in the dining hall my freshman year because I'm a very picky eater and I didn't like any of the food, so I'd actually go days without eating my freshman year because I didn't like any of the food in the dining hall. And at some point I realized like this wasn't sustainable, so I started like using my own money, and I didn't even have a job at the time, so I don't even know where I was getting the money from. Maybe it was just like money I like got from refund checks or something, but I started using my own money to buy food and cook in the kitchenette in my dorm because I couldn't eat anything. So my friend Afrobeats knew I loved cooking. She knew I cooked all the time and asked me to cook jollof rice for the cooking event. And I cooked jollof rice for the cooking event, and I went to the event and I was like, there is so many African here, it's crazy. Like, this is what I've been looking for all my life. And this was like at the end of the school year. And Laura Hubbard, she's the associate director for the Center for African Studies. She had never, at least I had never personally met her in my life. And that day, she gave me a hug like she knew me all my life. Like, it was just actually unbelievable. And I think it was even more shocking to me because she was white. Because it was like, what is this white lady doing in the midst of like a whole bunch of Africans? And ever since that cooking event, like, I found out what the Center for African Studies, which we call CAS, was. And, like, I would start spending my time at CAS because I had nothing to do in my room and I didn't have friends and stuff. So I would just go to CAS and, like, sit in the conference room, maybe do some work or do my homework or something. And I left my freshman year pretty unfulfilled. Honestly, I didn't like the experience that much. Chemistry kicked my ass to the point where I withdrew from organic chemistry, actually, and I don't know if I've mentioned that, but I was in organic chemistry my freshman year and I withdrew because I just sat in class and I knew I wasn't going to pass this class, so I just was like, let me just take the L now. But at the end of the school year, like during the summer, I started emailing Laura saying, hey, how can I work at the Center for African Studies? I really want to like work there. I want to be a student employee. Like, this is just something I want to do. Like, I would not leave her alone. I kept emailing and all this stuff. And, you know, lo and behold, I got the job the next school year, partially because, like, I interviewed with one of the people, like, it was an informal interview, but I interviewed with one of the current student staff there. So eventually, like, I got the job. So I started working at the Center for African Studies my sophomore year. And that sophomore year, I decided to not touch pre-med classes because I was like, why would I do that to myself? And I decided not to do that, so I was just like taking some psychology classes and taking second year Yoruba to kind of like help my keep my GPA afloat because I wasn't really doing well in any of my other classes. And that same sophomore year, I still didn't feel like I had a lot of friends. I didn't feel like I was starting to kind of get into this the CAS community, but I still didn't feel like I like belonged anywhere, right? And I didn't feel like I had a sense of purpose. So it was my sophomore year that I decided to pursue Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I spent some time pursuing that, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made, I think, my sophomore year. And I got to know very well some people in my same class that like I would have never been friends with otherwise, or I would have never known otherwise. And I like say this story all the time, and my line sister hates it, but like one of my line sisters, like my freshman year, I did not like her at all. I just didn't like her. She just seemed stuck up, you know, just very like queen bee of the clique or whatever, and I didn't like her. But like, you don't get to pick your line sisters. And after like joining, like me and her got so close, and I realized like she is not the person I thought she was. And she's like one of my best friends to this day. Of course she's one of my best friends to this day. If your line sister is not your best friend, or you're not close with your line sister, I don't know what to tell you. But I think in joining AKA, I learned so much about myself and so much about not judging a book by its cover, right? And I think in getting to know all these people that I didn't know before, I realized these are people who I thought one way of, but they were actually a completely different way. And it kind of made me realize that it's not okay to judge people just by by your perception of them. And it's like you have to give every single person the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's carried with me till this day, where it's like I try my best not to judge people, and I try my best to never like automatically write somebody off just because either they said something that didn't rub me the right way. So the end of my sophomore year, I was still in Afrobeats. I was actually the co-president of NIJA. But I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a good co-president. In my sophomore year, I actually was in SASA, which is also the Stanford African Student Association, and I had to plan the cultural show that year. And that year, I feel like planning the cultural show gave me a sense of purpose. I was like, okay, this is like my event for the year. Like, everyone knows this is what I'm planning. Everyone, like, this is kind of like, it has my name on it, right? Like, every year a cultural show is like planned by it's planned by a group of people, but there's usually that one person that's like, this was the person that, like, you know, spearheaded this. So like sophomore year, that was my year to spearhead it. It went well. And I think sophomore year I started to feel a bit more comfortable being at Stanford. Learned so much more about myself. Learned how to deal with anger better. Learned how to deal with my emotions better. Learned how to communicate better, for a majority of reasons. And the summer of my sophomore year, I like left thinking, okay, I feel like I wasted 2 years at Stanford. Hence, like, if anyone has seen why I feel like I wasted my 2 years at Stanford, it's a video I posted. But then in my sophomore year, while like things were looking on the up and up, I just felt like I hadn't taken substantially enough classes for a certain major, and I had 2 years left. But then I started really thinking, like, man, I really want to get back into pre-med. Like, I don't know what else I'm going to do in this world if it's not be a doctor. So I really started saying, okay, I'm at this halfway point in my college career, and I have to get serious. I have to figure out what I'm doing, what I want out of the next 2 years, and where I'm going. And I think at that moment I decided I was going to hop back into pre-med classes. I felt more solid social-wise of like, okay, I have a group of, you know, friends. I have my line sisters. I have my cast community. I have a job, like, all this stuff. I felt so much more like I had kind of built the foundation. I was like, okay, I need to like really get going academically. So I decided to hop back into pre-med classes my junior year, and I was like motivated. I was like, yes, I'm gonna hop into this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna blow these cats out the water. I'm gonna get A's and everything. And let me tell y'all, my junior fall quarter, my GPA was a 2.4. Like, I got C's in both bio core and a B in one class or something like that. But like, literally the pre-med class that I had hopped back into, I got another C, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, this can't keep happening, especially if I was actually serious about going to medical school. I was like, I can't keep doing this. So I like spent winter break saying, okay, girl, something has to change. You have to figure out why you're not doing well in school, and you have to start doing stuff to build your resume. Because at that point, I didn't really have anything substantial. Let me not say that. I just felt like at that point I wasn't doing enough to really be sure I wanted to be in medicine. So when I got back to school after winter breaks, winter quarter, I like applied to be a volunteer at a free clinic that the school runs. So I was a health educator in the free clinic. I started seeing an academic skill coach because I wasn't doing well in school, and I was like, I need to start turning my grades around. So I started seeing another academic skill coach, Alana Garcia. She is like my bestie. I love this girl so much. I started seeing her, and I just started like taking school more seriously. I started like really, I feel like I was in a better place to take school seriously. My freshman and sophomore year, I was going through a lot. I was like dealing with a lot of personal stuff, and I feel like because I was dealing with so much stuff my freshman and sophomore year, I didn't have the mental capacity to really do well in school. So my junior year, I felt more refreshed, I felt better, I felt in a better place, and I was like, I have to start doing well. And you know, I just really did a big 360. I like started taking school more seriously. I started doing more studying. I tried different things to like make sure I was doing well in school, make sure I was trying to get good grades. And at that same time, I also found like a solid group of friends. So like I had my line sisters, you know, I had like the cast community, but then I like as a junior found my it group of friends, which I was late to the game, but you know, everything happens for a reason. So I found my solid group of friends, and like it just so happened we were all like trying to do the pre-med stuff together, so it just naturally worked. And I think one of the biggest reasons why I started to do well was because I had a cohort of other African students with me who were going through this pre-med thing, so we could like help each other and support each other. So by the end of my junior year, my grades had gotten better. They had improved, which they weren't where I wanted them to be, but I wasn't getting C's anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm doing better. I feel better about the people I'm surrounding myself around. I feel better mentally. I feel better about myself. Like, I'm gonna take the summer to work. So for my sophomore summer, my junior year summer, I worked at High School Summer College, which is like a program for high school students to come to Stanford and take classes. And that has probably been one of the biggest highlights of my college career. Like, I love working for high school. I'm actually working there again this summer. I love working there so much because I feel like that kind of job allowed me to make a difference in high school students' lives and allowed me to interact with high school students that I probably wouldn't have interacted with otherwise. So like that job, I think, helped me be a better person, but then also like allowed me to share these lessons I've been learning in college with these students. So I spent that junior, after my junior, that summer like working there, but then also I was able to get a research position. And I was just like, okay, I'm doing better in school. In senior year, I have to blow it out the water. Like, because this was my last year in school, and I had already decided I wasn't doing a post-bac because I ain't got money for a post-bac. But I had said, okay, I need to blow my senior year out the water. So I came back to school super determined. Like, I told myself, I'm not taking any L's the senior year, and by God's grace, your girl was not taking any L's. Like, literally, my GPA was phenomenal my senior year. Like, I just was in a healthier mental space. Like, I'd finally been solidified in who I was, the kind of things I wanted in life, where I was going. I finally had like a sense of direction, what I wanted to do, and I was just like, nothing's gonna stop me, because I know this is my last year to prove to medical school that I am capable of doing well in school, and I'm capable and I deserve to be at their institution. So I spent a lot of my senior year really just focused on my academics, which is why this year I haven't posted as much. And the times that I did post was because I was at home during winter break, and I was able to like just pre-record a lot of stuff and then post them over like a certain amount of time. So my senior year, I'm still in my senior year, my last couple of weeks, but I've been working so hard this year, like so hard, focusing on school, making sure that I'm doing what I need to do. And I spent this year like making a documentary, which I think I've already released a trailer for it, and the full documentary will be out soon. But it's called A Conversation with Black Women in Medicine, because I was like, okay, I know where I'm going. I'm going to be a black doctor. I'm a Nigerian doctor, and I just wanted to talk to other like black women who were already doctors. I kind of needed a sense of motivation, the sense of inspiration to keep me going, and I felt that if I need this motivation, I'm pretty sure there are other people in this world that would love to see this representation. So I decided to do the documentary. So I spent my full senior year on top of school interviewing doctors, really trying to figure out how did they get to where they got to, and like just this idea of just putting out there that there are black women in medicine, that there is this representation, and motivating pre-meds of color that it's possible to get there, that like, every doctor that is a doctor right now, they went through similar, if not the same struggles we're going through now, but they were able to do it. Like, this was in the trailer, but one of the doctors, Dr. Dunn, talked about how, like, she did not like chemistry at Stanford, and she, like, dropped pre-med at Stanford, and she took 6 gap years, and she still ended up being a doctor. And I think stories like that are so inspirational, and I was like, I need to share those stories with other people, and like these stories are motivating me, so I have to motivate other people. So I spent this year making the documentary, and it's gonna be released soon, and I'm super excited about that. It's a project I'm really proud of. I worked really hard on. Like, these doctors are busy, and scheduling interviews with them was hard. Like, it was hard, and like, I'd be lugging like a whole bunch of camera, because I filmed it, I like edited, produced all that stuff. Like, I did all of that. I did the lighting, everything. So like, I'd be carrying like loads of like filming equipment with me to like their offices or whatever. So like, it was a lot of work, but I think definitely worth it, and these stories need to be heard. So I guess like I'm at senior year now, and now that I'm graduating in a couple weeks, it feels so surreal. Like, as much as I criticize Stanford, which I think they do need to be criticized, because Stanford has a long way to go. Like, Stanford doesn't always care about their students. I'm gonna just put it out there right there. Like, they say they do, but they don't. Or they care about select students that will benefit them at a given time. And a perfect example of that is the fact that CAS is being moved. We're moving to an inadequate space, and like, despite students fighting for the space we deserve, Stanford said, sucks to be African, and said, y'all can move to this small space. No, you guys are not a community center. Like, what school has the right to tell a community that they're not a community center? Like, that doesn't make any kind of sense. So I do think there's so many different things I dislike about Stanford, but I cannot take away the fact that being here, I've had so much privilege that a lot of other people don't have. And I completely respect and recognize that I have privilege, that opportunities have come my way that probably would have never came my way if I did not go to Stanford. And I acknowledge that privilege, and my goal, and I hope I've been doing this, is to use my privilege in a positive way. Like, being able to inspire others, being able to use the education I got here, the opportunities, the things I've learned here, to share with other people who may not have the same access to it. And that's been something really big for me, and I'm hoping I will continue to do when I graduate. I think another thing is I've learned a lot about myself. I am not the same person I was freshman year. Like, honestly, like, freshman year me was just emotionally unstable. I didn't have a clear direction of where I was going. I knew I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't really like have a plan. I was just kind of like aimlessly wandering and just doing whatever other people were doing. Now I'm so much more clear about where I'm trying to go, where I'm trying to be. I think I'm so much more open-minded, so much more like such a more positive person. I think I've always described myself as very bubbly. And I think above all, I've learned to appreciate the people around me and the people that have brought me to where I am today, because the person I am today was not a soul journey. Like, it didn't happen by itself, and it wasn't because like, oh yeah, like I just changed. Like, I'm a Bible-believing woman, and God has kept me and saw me through these 4 years, and I cannot thank him enough. Like, first of all all praise, glory, and honor goes to him. And after him, there are just select few people on campus that really got me through. Like I said, Laura Hubbard, my boss at work, she has been my rock through the last 3 years. She has let me vent about stuff, anything really. She has like helped me apply to stuff. She's been POP holding it down. She's been writing me recommendations and like really encouraging me, helping me make certain life decisions. Like, literally the other day, don't ask me why, but I like was seriously considering buying a brand new car. Mind you, I actually don't have the money for a brand new car, but I was like tired. Like, I was getting irritated with my car because like to fix it was getting more than what I actually paid for. And I texted her, I'm like, so I'm about to buy a car, and she was like, so no you're not, calm down. And like, I just love that I not only have this like faculty, like, you know, student relationship with her, but she's also like one of my best friends. Like, I can text her and she's supported me through so much. She's hands down one of the best faculty Stanford has ever hired. And I can't say that about a lot of people at Stanford, but she is one of the best, one of them. And like my African Chem squad, they have got me through organic chemistry. We getting through biochemistry together. We got through bio together. They've been holding me down. Like, they have been like really hyping me up, keeping me motivated. They're the reason why I keep doing what I do, because I want to set, because I am older, like I'm graduating, a lot of them are juniors and sophomores, so I am older than them, and I want to set an example for them. I want them to be like, Sean left a legacy that we have to fill. We have big shoes we need to fill. I want to set the bar high so that they will reach that as well. And they have been my rock. They've been so supportive. My line sisters have been a huge part of my personal growth. Huge part. They've like taught me so many things about myself that either I wasn't willing to admit or I didn't notice about myself. They like are quick to call me out, like, girl, check yourself, which you need friends like those. You need people who are gonna call you out because they want to see you improve. They want to see you be a better person. I can't thank God enough for them. I say my Afrobeats, because like my Afrobeats people kind of fall into my cast people, kind of fall into my, like, everyone African at Stanford has like been a motivating, with the exception of one person, has been a motivating you know, force for me. They have really helped me be the person I am. They have shown me the true definition of love and really made me want to love other people, made me care for other people so much more. So I think the question is, what am I doing next? Like, where's your girl going? Am I staying here? Am I moving back? Like, what's happening? And, you know, I've been so blessed, been so privileged to, like, get a full-time job here. So I will be staying here. I don't want to release too many details about that because I'm not trying to have y'all know what I'm doing post-grad, or trying to find my place of employment. But, I know at least for the next year, I'm going to be straight. And I'm going to be working on my medical school application, going to be taking the MCAT, just going to be working on things that will help me get into medical school. And I'm hoping that, like, you know, around this time next year, I'm, like, going to tell you the schools I'm going to be getting into. I don't know what the future holds, and I don't want to speak too much because, you know, people be preying on your downfall, so I can't be saying all my plans, but I'm really excited for what the future holds, and I think my 4 years at Stanford have definitely been interesting, eye-opening, hard, painful, but I think nonetheless well-needed, and I think I would have never been the person I am today if I didn't go through these 4 years at Stanford. So that's kind of my reflection of my college experience. If you liked this video, be sure to share, comment, like, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe, y'all. Like, y'all, we trying to run for that 1K. We're trying to get there. So please subscribe, and comment. Let me know if there's any kind of videos you'd like to see or anything you want to hear more about.